You know, after years of the internet complaining WWE has kept Dolph Ziggler down, they finally give him the opportunity, but jaded fans say, well, it's too late. You've held him down for so long. Is Dolph Ziggler the right person to face Dean Ambrose at SummerSlam 2016? We're going to talk about it in this video because let's be honest, most of us at one point or another were probably a Dolph Ziggler fan. We were probably on his side when him, Big E, AJ Lee came out to the ring with that briefcase on Monday, April 7th, when he cashed in and he won that title. When he finally won that title, the crowd went insane. Within a month or two, though, concussions, injuries would take him out and he would get stripped of the title. They would then try this again, with once again the same result happening. This is a man that has been a constant in WWE over the last, 7, 8 years now? Probably going on 10. A man who held the Intercontinental Championship for how long with Vicky Guerrero, who put on one of my favorite weird endings at a TLC where Kofi Kingston and Jack Swagger were fighting on the ladder for the title and Dolph Ziggler comes in. A man who tried a gimmick change one time in the last, 7 years? Where he cut his hair and then dyed it brown and then within a month or a couple weeks changed it back to bleach blonde hair. Is Dolph Ziggler the right person to face at Money in the Bank? He wasn't even booked. How is that possible? People look at his pay-per-view record and go, what the hell? The image that's floating around on social media is, wow, this is the man that's challenging for the title. Look, he wasn't even booked on 3 pay-per-views, lost in a ladder match, lost here, did this and this. Why is this man challenging for the title? The same man that when it's on Raw and Dolph Ziggler loses, wow, they can't believe they're jobbing out Ziggler. What should Ziggler do then? If we've always wanted Ziggler to get the push, and WWE finally, says, hey, listen, we got a brand split. Let's go ahead and give you that push, Dolph. Is there anybody else who should have taken that match? I don't necessarily have a problem with Dolph Ziggler winning as much as I do is, why did AJ Styles take the pinfall? Why was it AJ Styles who took that super kick to the face? Now, I will say this. Dolph Ziggler, I'm liking the super kick. I don't know if it's just you. I don't know if it's me. I don't like the Usos super kick. But Dolph Ziggler's super kick, the one on AJ Styles when he won, I could genuinely see that being a devastating finisher for him besides just the zigzag. Before he had the sleeper hold and then needed something else and he came up with a zigzag. Now, he's got that super kick in his back pocket, which I'm pretty pumped about because I actually liked it and thought it came out pretty devastating. But here's the thing. Does he have a chance? Is he in this match? Should he have been the right person? In a pay-per-view era, would Dolph Ziggler have won to go on at the second biggest pay-per-view of the year to face Dean Ambrose? Would Finn Balor on the second biggest pay-per-view of the year have gone on to face for the title? We have 2 title matches now, and I've already made the video talking about Finn Balor, which you guys can go and watch. And you look at this, and there's a lot of people going, well, okay. And if you genuinely look at it, this is true. But if you look at it from the aspect that Dolph Ziggler is a former 2-time World Heavyweight Champion, a long-time Intercontinental Champion. This man has held gold, United States Championship. I don't care if the fact that he went out, got injured, WWE buried him, WWE didn't do anything with him, they kept him off TV, they kept him off of winning, they jobbed him out a lot. This man is a champion. Multi-time champion. Something AJ Styles isn't in the WWE. Hey, let's cut truth bombs here. John Cena, 15-time plus champion. Would he have been in the right spot to win the main event? Apollo Crews. Who would have been the right pick? I don't know who would have been the right pick, but all I know is this signals something to me. Because it says something when Dolph Ziggler is the guy that wins. If you remember when Daniel Bryan said years ago, give me SmackDown. Give me the keys to the kingdom. I will go over there and wrestle, and Dolph Ziggler wrestler. And Dolph Ziggler said the same thing. Put me on SmackDown. Let me show off. Now, I get, and this is what I've said, and I've said this very religiously, not just about Dolph Ziggler. There are certain superstars in WWE that do the exact same thing and expect to try to get over. Dolph Ziggler was one of them. Zack Ryder was another one. Originally the Long Island thing worked, and then it kind of fell apart. Now he's freaking zacked. He's looking like a bodybuilder, and sure, he may be losing, but he at least changed something up a little bit. He's got the hype bros. It's something different. Big E went from being the heavy, the 5-time countdown to NXT, which the crowd loved, to coming up here and being the heavy, which nobody really gave a shit about, to now he's in the New Day, one of the most popular, if not the most popular group in the WWE. Dolph Ziggler needs something different. And in the feud he had with Baron Corbin, which was drawn out a little bit, hey, I'm not going to deny it, we saw Dolph Ziggler bring out a little bit more mat-based wrestling, a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more really using that super kick, and we saw a little bit of different side of Dolph Ziggler. To keep throwing in the fact that this is the same Dolph Ziggler from years ago and throwing him into that category of, hey, listen, he shouldn't get the push. Why is Dolph Ziggler getting the push? You know, it's a lot easier for us to bitch at WWE when they hold a superstar down like Dolph Ziggler. And then when they finally give us the opportunity to see Dolph Ziggler in that title match, what are we going to say? Well, now, but you fucked him up so bad the last couple of years that I don't care now. Is that how jaded we've become? I'll be the first one to admit, Dolph Ziggler versus Dean Ambrose at the second biggest pay-per-view of the year does not sound like the biggest and baddest main event that's going to sell out Barclays. It really doesn't. On paper, they're going to have a great technical match, and it's probably going to be a very, very interesting contest. Who's going to win? Who's going to come out on top? I don't know if I'm ready to make that prediction just yet. We're still a few weeks away. But the one thing that I am excited about is the fact that WWE is taking chances. In this network era, when they've gone away from pay-per-views, they have NXT call-ups, they're doing things in the past that they never probably would have done. They have a cruiserweight show, they have NXT, they have a network which charges $9.99 instead of a $54 pay-per-view, which, oh man, I spent so much money on pay-per-views 2 years before the network came out because I was actually buying every single pay-per-view. Man, I'm all for the network. WrestleMania attendance of 101,000. Would this match have sold out WrestleMania? Probably not. Does it have to? No, because it's SummerSlam. It is a smaller venue, and let's be honest, Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton, John Cena, Styles, SummerSlam's going to sell out anyway. WWE can take a risk in this network era. If we've always clamored and complained and bitched and moaned about Dolph Ziggler, we want Dolph Ziggler to be the guy, and Vince McMahon finally listens to the wrestling community, the vocal fans. Maybe not everybody's a Dolph Ziggler fan, but the ones that, do like Dolph Ziggler, you're starting to listen to him. Now, I heard somebody on the internet say that Vince Russo, and I didn't hear Vince Russo's direct comments, so I'm not going to, quote him or anything, but somebody had said that basically Vince Russo had said that Vince McMahon listening to the IWC would be the end of professional wrestling. It would just wreck it. But isn't that what WWE should always do? You should listen to the fans, but you shouldn't just give us what we want. I'll be the first one to admit that, I would love to see Dolph Ziggler have the championship. Just because I want him to have the championship doesn't mean he should have the championship. Just because I want that guy to have the title doesn't mean it's right for that guy to have the title. Because let's be honest, it's entertainment. There's nothing that's right or wrong. Something that comes about maybe just happens one night, and you just go with the flow. Damian Sandow, The Miz, it just happened. It wasn't forced, it wasn't pushed, it wasn't scripted, it wasn't planned. It just happened and became the phenomenon that it is. Dolph Ziggler just kind of became that phenomenon. His in-ring product was great, but he kept doing the same thing. I've noticed a little bit of change in Dolph Ziggler recently. Well, unless you go to that typical spot where his opponent holds onto the ropes, falls over, and then he gets hit with the finisher for the loss, Dean. You have to think about it this way, man. In the past, when you have superstars and they face off, and I've said this before, if you had a guy that beats you and then ultimately you went on to win the title, there's something in that guy then challenging that guy to try to beat the title. It's like Dolph Ziggler lost to everybody with a Money in the Bank briefcase. He's the fucking Money in the Bank holder. He is the guy that's going to cash in and be the next champion. Why does he have to win? That was the biggest criticism that people had with Dolph Ziggler's push before everything had went south for him with the injuries, was Dolph Ziggler had the Money in the Bank, but yet he kept losing every single match. And people went, this is Mr. Money in the Bank. How dare this man lose? How dare Dolph Ziggler lose? But it's the same thing with Sasha Banks on TV now. She's the women's champion. She was just held off of TV because at that time, the most important thing was wrapping up the Charlotte storylines. So eventually Sasha can come in when the time is right then be on TV, and then win. Same thing here with Dolph Ziggler. Same thing with Ambrose. In the new era of SmackDown, the one thing that we've kind of always wanted, they're giving us, and we're kind of complaining. Listen, I'm not saying this match is perfect. I'm not saying it's going to be excellent in terms of, selling a crowd. The match itself will be excellent. The match itself I'll probably enjoy a lot. But in terms of looking at it, in terms of a sellout, or if the interest is drawn, I don't know. That's up to SmackDown and then the next couple weeks of TV to decide. All I know is that, we've kind of given up hope on Dolph Ziggler, or maybe we think it's impossible for him to pull out a victory. But you know what? Maybe this is just a barn burner feud, so somebody else didn't have to take the loss at SummerSlam. Maybe the other people have bigger plans in mind, or maybe the WWE just really has no idea what the hell they're doing, and this is just kind of rough shot booking. To me, Daniel Bryan's in control. Dolph Ziggler, one of the best technical wrestlers, and he was rewarded for that. He was given an opportunity, and he ended up winning. That's my honest thoughts. My honest thoughts are that Dolph Ziggler deserved to win this match. Is it the best match for SummerSlam? Probably not. Are there other guys a little bit more deserving, or that would have made a little bit more of an interesting title match? Sure, but the brand split just happened. Do I want to see Dean Ambrose lose the title right away? Or do I want to see him put on one fucking hell of a technical match that's probably going to make me ooh and ah? Yeah. I mean, if Styles would have won and lost to Dean Ambrose, wow, another pay-per-view that he lost. John Cena gets in the main event. Wow, another John Cena main event. Apollo Crews wins. Wow, and nobody that's done nothing that's beat Sheamus winning. Can anybody please anybody? I don't think so. There's too many different opinions. There's too many different thoughts. There's too many different philosophies about what's right and what's wrong. I'm not going to pretend to sit here like I know what's right, or the fact that Dolph Ziggler is going to pay off being the challenger for Dean Ambrose's WWE Championship. But since this is a brand split and this just happened, and Finn Balor, some people get really mad. I do it just to kind of piss people off. The fact that Finn is challenging for the title straight out of NXT. The guy that everybody wanted. Same thing as Dolph Ziggler. Everybody wanted Finn to debut. Everybody wanted Finn to do big things. He finally does. He debuts, and he's the number one contender. Well, we didn't mean that big. We wanted Finn, but is it right for him to have the title? What's right and what's not? That's always been the question with wrestling. When's the right time? When's not the right time? I don't know. So I don't know if Dolph Ziggler's going to pay off. I don't know if Dolph Ziggler's going to be the good bet, the bad bet, the wrong bet, the bet that's going to make you look like Donald Trump on the stage, looking kind of like a jackass. The only thing that I do know is that these two are probably going to put on one hell of a technically sound match, and that's kind of what I want. You look at all the other matches on the card. You got the physical Suplex City versus Viperville. You got Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor, which is going to tear down the house. Technical wrestling, you got Dean versus Dolph Ziggler. You have a lot of interesting possibilities that can happen. How the match is going to end or go down, I don't know, but I'm excited. SummerSlam come Barclays. Dolph Ziggler, this is your shot, bro. Hopefully you don't get a concussion and wreck it.